The silent beliefs that control your life. There are thoughts you hear, and then there are thoughts that speak for you. Quietly, constantly. You don't debate them. You don't examine them. You don't even notice them. But they decide. They decide what you attempt, what you tolerate, what you believe you deserve. Most people think their life is shaped by circumstance. It isn't. It's shaped by assumptions. Unquestioned sentences running beneath awareness. I'm not that type of person. This is just how I am. People like me don't. These beliefs are rarely loud. They don't announce themselves as limitations. They feel like truth. And that is what makes them dangerous. If your life is a reflection of what you repeatedly accept as true, what silent belief has been deciding your direction? Human beings are not driven primarily by logic. We are driven by coherence. The mind wants consistency between belief and behavior. Not excellence, not expansion, consistency. This is identity preservation. If you believe you are inconsistent, your brain will subtly guide you toward inconsistency. If you believe you are unlucky, you will interpret neutral events as confirmation. If you believe you are behind in life, you will search for proof. This is cognitive dissonance at work. When your actions contradict your self-image, discomfort arises. And instead of upgrading the identity, most people downgrade the action. They quit. They rationalize. They reinterpret. The ego does not exist to help you grow. It exists to help you feel stable, even if that stability is built on limitation. Familiar suffering feels safer than unfamiliar growth, because growth threatens the narrative, and the narrative feels like survival. Behavior change fails because identity remains untouched. People attempt intensity. They start waking up earlier, they commit to discipline, they declare transformation. But internally, the sentence remains, I'm not really disciplined. So the mind waits. It waits for evidence that supports the old belief. And eventually, inconsistency appears. Not because of weakness, but because identity defended itself. Identity is not just how you describe yourself, it is how you predict yourself. If deep down you believe you are someone who quits under pressure, you will unconsciously create pressure that justifies quitting. Not deliberately, but predictably. The mind protects its self-concept more fiercely than it protects its potential. And until a belief is questioned, it remains law. Comfort is misunderstood. It is not laziness, it is protection. If you believe failure would confirm that you are inadequate, you avoid difficult attempts. If you believe visibility leads to judgment, you avoid exposure. If you believe success would isolate you, you avoid excellence. Comfort becomes avoidance. Avoidance becomes explanation. Explanation becomes identity. I'm just not ambitious. I prefer a simple life. I don't care about that. Maybe, or maybe the belief underneath is protecting you from disconfirming something you fear might be true. Gradual stagnation feels safe. It feels rational. It feels controlled, but slowly, potential contracts. Not through collapse, through compromise. And after enough compromise, the smaller life feels normal. Under every limiting belief is an emotion. Fear of insignificance. Fear of being seen and exposed. Fear of trying fully and failing publicly. Fear of responsibility. Fear of discovering that you are capable of more, and therefore accountable for more. Sometimes even fear of being ordinary. So the mind develops protective beliefs. I don't really want that. It's not for me. It's too late. These statements soothe anxiety. They reduce pressure. They create emotional regulation without requiring courage. Distraction plays a role here. Constant noise, endless input, busy schedules that prevent silence. Because silence invites examination, and examination threatens the narrative. It is easier to stay occupied than to sit with the possibility that your limitations are inherited thoughts you never chose. One dominant illusion maintains these beliefs: waiting. Waiting for confidence, waiting for clarity, waiting for the perfect time. It feels rational. You tell yourself you're being strategic, but underneath, there is a quieter message. I cannot act until I feel certain. Certainty rarely precedes action. It follows evidence, and evidence follows behavior. Waiting protects identity. If you never fully try, you never disprove the belief. If you never fully commit, you never risk discovering you were wrong about yourself. So the mind delays, not because you lack ability, but because delay preserves coherence, and coherence feels safe. Real change is philosophical before it is behavioral. It begins with questioning the belief, not attacking the habit. What do I assume is true about myself? Where did that assumption originate? Is it a fact, or is it repetition? Discipline is not self-punishment. It is identity reinforcement. Each kept promise sends a signal. Each completed action provides evidence. The brain updates through repetition, not affirmation, not intensity, repetition. Silence strengthens this process. When you stop announcing transformation and start embodying it, identity shifts quietly. Standards replace moods. Structure replaces emotional debate. And slowly, the internal narrative begins to change. Not through force, through proof. There is a moment. It is rarely dramatic. It is not loud. It does not arrive with applause. It is a quiet realization. No one is coming. No one is obligated to rewrite your beliefs. No one will rescue you from inherited narratives. If a belief limits you, it is your responsibility to examine it. Not angrily, not aggressively, calmly. You begin asking, is this belief serving me? Is it accurate? Or is it convenient? Responsibility does not feel empowering at first. It feels heavy. Then it feels clarifying. Time does not debate your beliefs. It compounds them. If you believe you are incapable, you will accumulate evidence of avoidance. If you believe you are disciplined, you will accumulate evidence of follow-through. 5 years will pass either way. Drift is unconscious repetition. Deliberate construction is intentional repetition. Both shape identity. The difference is awareness. You are either reinforcing a silent limitation or rewriting it. And the rewriting happens slowly. So slowly that you may not notice. Until one day, you realize the person you are is the sum of what you repeatedly accepted as true. If you want to loosen the grip of silent beliefs, begin here. Choose one internal standard, not a goal, a standard. For example, I keep my word to myself. Remove negotiation. When debate ends, identity stabilizes. Keep small promises. Track identity, not outcomes. Did I act in alignment with the standard? Protect focus. Limit inputs that reinforce the old narrative. You are not trying to become someone else. You are testing a new assumption. And with enough evidence, the mind updates. Not instantly, but reliably. The silent beliefs that control your life are not dramatic. They are ordinary, familiar, repeated. But so is transformation. Real change does not feel explosive. It feels disciplined. It feels structured. It feels almost boring. You question a belief. You test a new one. You repeat actions that align with it. And slowly, the internal narrative shifts. No applause, no announcement, just accumulated proof. One day you look back and realize the belief changed. And when the belief changed, your life followed.